Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quantum Marketing Sense Live. This is a forum for forward-looking discussions with subject matter experts who have fascinating perspectives to share with us. For those of you who are joining it for the first time, a little bit of a quick background. So I have been digging into the future of marketing and trying to sort of prognosticate as to where marketing is headed and whether we should look at marketing in a different way than we have been looking so far. And that was the genesis to my writing a book called Quantum Marketing, which is about marketing totally being reimagined. And that book, fortunately, it became a Wall Street Journal bestseller, been published in about 11 languages till now, and won a number of international book awards. So I feel very grateful for the kind of reception that I had received. And it's also being now used in more than 300 universities around the world to educate the next generation of marketers who are going through their MBA programs and through the executive development programs. Now, to take off from that book and the content, I wanted to make sure that I'm engaging many more people. So I started writing a newsletter called Quantum Marketing Sense. And a further offshoot of that is this Quantum Marketing Sense Live, which I have been doing it. And today is the 20th episode that I'm doing. It's almost the climate week here in NYC. And I'm here right now in New York City. And there is no better time to have this conversation. And I would love to hear your thoughts on consumers' increasing expectation around sustainability and what marketers should know about climate change and environmental impact. So let me know about your comments below. But let me start off here. As I said, I have got my 20th guest to join Quantum Marketing Sense Live. This is Francis. Francis is the Chief Brand and Sustainability Officer at Kohler Energy. And it's a company that provides energy solutions to individuals, businesses, as well as communities. And this includes products like home generators, industrial energy solutions, and clean running engine technology. Now, his sustainability title, in addition to the marketing title, means that he is also responsible for steering his company's environment and social impact and the storytelling thereof, in addition to his traditional marketing efforts in his CMO role. Now, prior to joining Kohler, he worked as CMO of a prominent premium wine company. I'm a teetotaler, so I'm not the best one to be talking about it, but he is been there as the CMO of Stay Michel Wine Estates and Bell Brands. And he's also a very experienced global marketer who has worked with brands like Procter & Gamble, L'Oreal, and Pernod Ricard. And he has led several organizations-wide turnaround initiatives. And he has experience with both B2B marketing and direct-to-consumer marketing. So, Francis, welcome, and thank you very, very much for coming and joining on this show. And I'm really looking forward to our conversation, which hopefully will be very meaningful and of value to our audience.
Thank you, Samir. It's an honor. Thank you for having me. We'll get into this, but it's an important week for us, for Kohler Energy. Now Rehlko, you probably see in the top corner of my screen. This is our new brand identity. So I'm looking forward to share a little bit of that with you among the entire conversation.
Why don't we start off with that one itself, Francis? So what was the motivation? It's obviously a big week, changing the name of the company and a complete rebranding exercise. And in the middle of all that, you're here to show up for this show, which I genuinely appreciate, and I'm grateful to you for that. But give a little bit of texture around why the rebrand and what exactly is happening.
For sure. So everybody's familiar with Kohler. Probably many of you have Kohler faucets or kitchen and bath elements in your home. It's a 150-year-old company. It's a fantastic privately owned, family-owned business, one of the largest in the US. And the company took a decision over a year ago, a big strategic decision, to spin off its energy division. A lot of people didn't know Kohler was in the energy space, but Kohler has been doing backup generator, not backup generator, actual generators, because they equipped the farmers in the Midwest in the early 20th century with the first standalone generators at the time when there was no grid and no electricity everywhere. So they outpowered a lot of things along the way. Their generators were used in the first movies in Hollywood. Their generators helped build the Hoover Dam. Their generators were used for the Apollo mission to the moon. So a lot of heritage that we're taking with us. And the decision was made mainly for focus is the main reason. So Kohler will be able to focus and continue leading in the kitchen, bath, hospitality, and lifestyle part. And I'm going to talk to you more about the energy space, where we're going to be able to focus on what we do, providing resilience in a world where the energy world right now is changing with climate change, with the demand for electricity much bigger than the infrastructures we have. So there's a lot of demand for our products, both in homes and businesses. So we thought it was an opportunity to a little bit, also an opportunity to come a little bit more to the front instead of being behind the stage and providing backup power to tell our story.
Beautiful. It's amazing. Ironically, I was there and I have been there in the energy generation and utility space with my role as a board member of PPL Corporation, which is Pennsylvania Power and Light, and they also manage Kentucky and Rhode Island utilities as well. And it's a U.S. Fortune 500 company, and I've been on the board for the last almost 12 years. So
Interesting.
the key thing is what you say is so right. Firstly, the heritage which your company has of more than 100 years. And I had no clue that, it was like you're the ones who are powering, whether it was the Apollo 11 mission or Apollo mission, or it is, being the first generator in Hollywood. These are like, such an amazing kind of a heritage very few companies can talk about. And so you are now standing at the verge of changing that name into Rehlko, which is absolutely amazing. Give me some thoughts. What are you apprehensive about?
For sure. So it was, Kohler's a strong brand. We had big shoes to fill. We have relationships, very long relationship with some of our distributors, vendors, business partners, and probably most importantly, our associates. We have associates with 20, 30-year tenure with Kohler. So we were looking for a name. Branding is like naming a child. It's a very tough
Absolutely.
exercise. When we started the process a year ago, we were ready to be a little bit polarizing. We were saying to ourselves, the CEO and myself, if we're not going to be able to please everyone with a new name. There's going to be people who won't like it. It will take time to. And I talked to also other CMOs who went through this process. And after reviewing, you probably know the process, finding a name also from a legal point of view. All the names you like are taken, and it's a big legal risk. So we ended up with Rehlko, which it sounds very simple. It's a clever play on Kohler. It's actually an anagram of Kohler. It's the reshuffling of the
Ah,
Kohler letters. But it's got a few interesting syllables in there. RE stands for resilience, reinvention. The KO is a little tribute to Kohler, the Kohler letters. And we think it sounds great. And we were able to legally make it work around the world. We're a global company. We tested it in different languages, so we're good. And the reception from our employees has been good. It's not polarizing. When we explain it, people get it. And same thing with our business partners. So we just publicly announced it yesterday. So yeah, we think we're in a good spot from a branding point of view, which is a major step in our journey of becoming a standalone focused company on energy resilience.
this is so amazing, and when you explained it, that Relco is actually the other way of writing cola, and an anagram, which is fabulous, fascinating. And plus, you're also making some meaning out of the whole thing. to keep it relevant and exciting and forward looking. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I could spend a lot
Normally,
of time on the logo and the little symbol you see, the little, which is a small R, but forward looking. It's all about moving forward and the future. But we have a lot of other things to talk about, I'm sure.
yeah, but congratulations. This is something which is fantastic. And having gone through rebranding a few times over my own career, I know what an intense exercise it is. And if you like everything, the right name and all the right connotations, then it's not available for copywriting or trademarking. So I think, I can empathize with you totally, but congratulations. It looks absolutely terrific.
Great. Thank you.
So here is the thing, like I was mentioning, we are kicking off Climate Week here in New York in the next few days, right? Now, why is it that Climate Week has become such a big event where major brands are all showing up?
Well, I think now climate change is people agree on climate change. It used to be a very divisive topic. I think now it's a bipartisan topic in the world we live in. People see it, live it. I can tell you about the amount of natural catastrophes because our business is directly related. People often um, find the needs for our product, unfortunately, after such events. You can think about the freeze in Texas a few years ago, or even recently the rain in North Carolina. Um, and people want to be ready. And, we are projected this year to have 40 separate 1 billion plus natural catastrophes in the US. Run
Wow.
at that, which are numbers that we've never seen before. So our role is to make sure we keep the world running, as whether it's your home, businesses, data centers, hospitals. In a humble way, sometimes we think to ourselves we might be saving lives if an hospital has a backup generator when something like that happens. That's the most serious part of our business. Um, so I think climate is important. We also purposely launched our new brand name around Climate Week in New York. We're also one of the founding members. We're a Midwest company. We're based in Wisconsin. We're one of the founding member of the Midwest Sustainability Network, which is a brand new group of companies coming together last week to share best practices. And it's interesting. It's a topic where there's no trade secret. People are very open, sharing best practice, and it's a common mission.
Yeah, and in fact, it's not just the energy companies only, but across all the industries. You're seeing not just the chief sustainability officers showing up, but also the chief marketing officers. And this has become one of those new uh, partnerships within every company with fantastic collaboration where you are doing something which is good for the business, but it's also good for the environment and the society at large. But tell me one thing, coming from the Midwest, and I can tell you this, I can see personally, and I live in Cincinnati, Ohio,
Yeah.
the extent of weather patterns now are so intense compared to what it was in the last few years that I've been living there. Huge winds and all that stuff. But still, you find a significant portion of people, at least in that geography, believing that climate change is not happening. And, that sustainability and all this is woke or it's all hogwash. Now, from your perspective, what are you seeing? Is there any change that's happening recently? Because as people are living through these dramatic changes, and if you're talking of $41 billion plus loss making events that are going to happen thanks to the weather changes and the
Yeah.
climate changes, people will start realizing whether they acknowledge it or not. But are you seeing over the last, say, couple of years any significant change? Or is it still perceived to be woke?
I think climate change is really evolving. I think whether you believe in climate change or not, you you
It
you can
happens.
you cannot not see the climate events that we're seeing, and people want to be ready, and it's about resilience. And we have also an infrastructure grid that is aging. Even with all the investment infrastructure. There's a lot of challenges, but we're all very optimistic. There's a lot of technologies. There's a lot of PhDs and academia working on the topic as we speak. You can think about new nuclear fission solutions, hydrogen. So I think it's going to be an interesting couple of years in front of us in terms of innovation and that space.
Yeah, in fact, just today morning, I was there attending one of the virtual conferences around sustainability and marketers' role in it, etc. And what I found, a lot of people have mentioned there, saying that the chief sustainability officers, they were mentioning that a lot of their peers in marketing, either they don't understand sustainability or they don't care about it. Now, in my case, I'm fortunate in some sense that when I was doing my undergraduation in chemical engineering, I specialized in environmental engineering. And likewise, in my MBA, my specialization was environmental management, in addition to marketing. So the question is, from your perspective, when you have spent time across multiple blue chip companies and you have moved industries and so on, what would you say marketers need to know about sustainability and climate change specifically at this point in time?
For sure. I think probably the biggest mistake that business have made is to put sustainability in a separate box on its own, separate from the business, separate from marketing. This is what we're trying to solve for. And that's why I have both hats. And actually, I would like to think it's actually one hat. I think there's an opportunity for people working in sustainability who are often very passionate to be better marketers and communicators about what they do and what needs to be done, and also to embed the sustainability strategy in the purpose, in the core strategy of the business, and find, and we're actually doing a lot of work right now to see what's our role as a company that specializes in resiliency, backup power. And it's very early work, and we're a new company. Like I said, we're almost a startup. I like to call a 100-year-old startup. But what we're seeing on our side is a role we can play is we're actually enabling the energy transition. If we were to stop all fossil fuel from one day to the next, turn that switch off immediately, we would go back to ice age. So I think our role is to enable it. We do it in many ways. It's the efficiency of our engines. You took a diesel engine in our generators. Compared to 20 years ago, they emit 90% less emissions. On top of that, we made them compatible with HVO fuel, which is hydro vegetable oil, which when you use these fuels, and they're more and more available, you reduce it by another 90%. And then, we're also tapping and looking into hydrogen. Our engines are compatible with hydrogen. The day that we have accessible green hydrogen, then it's going to be our solutions are going to be zero emissions. So it's all about enabling that transition. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's embedded in our company purpose.
Got it. So now put yourself in the shoes of the consumer, right? You already have some legacy infrastructure at your home. And changing behavior is very difficult. Changing your existing infrastructure to something new is difficult. And I see one of the best examples where this change has been effected, at least I'm aware it happened in the US, I'm not sure of the rest of the world, was in terms of changing incandescent bulbs with the LED bulbs. And actually, the various utility companies have given them free of cost to consumers, saying that you replace your existing bulbs with these new bulbs. You don't have to pay the first time. Their life is much better. Than the economics in terms of your power consumption, and therefore your electricity bill is going to be lesser. Now, when you're looking at both from homes as well as offices, where you need to really do this kind of a replacement and change consumer behavior and promote your new products and new low emission or zero emission products, how do you go about it? And is this something where you need the help of regulation as well to make it happen? Or is it something which you think through sheer marketing efforts, you'll be able to accomplish that?
Yeah, it's very, very good question. It's a complex question, but I think The answer, it's a mix of policy. We're close to policy makers. We need policy makers. Sometimes financial helps to make the ROI for consumers or customers pay off. And then the availability and cost efficiency of our solutions. The day our solutions are going to be more productive, more cost efficient. I'll use the example of someone running a data center. I think that the movement's going to start. Then the other thing helping us is we're working with large customers. One of our fastest growth segment is data centers. You can imagine with AI, the amount of data center and the amount of energy that data centers will be consuming in the next 10 years. It's going to be close to 10% of all energy consumed in the US. So, again, going back to the infrastructure, these operators will need, and we're talking about large ones like AWS, Google, Amazon, but also there's some mid-sized ones that they're all also looking for cleaner backup solutions.
Got it. Got it. So, if you look at the world that we live in, where all companies, no matter what their purpose is or what their business is, have to think about environment. Now, you're at a very interesting cross section. On one hand, you are actually providing solutions for companies who want to become more sustainable from an environment perspective. And on the other hand, that's also your core product. Now, are you doing something above and beyond marketing your products, or are you bringing those sustainable practices into your own business model?
Absolutely. And I think, one of the questions now that we're a focused standalone company, one of the questions we ask, what business are we really in? And I think we're moving from a simple manufacturer of engines and generators towards a company that's into technology and sustainable solutions. Also services. We recently invested in a startup called Hela Technologies, which was created at MIT, where these companies are looking at microgrids, and they're able to measure the consumption of your different source of energy, and they're able to help companies like a manufacturing company optimize their energy consumption, either to improve their financials, their cost, or to improve their greenhouse gas emission, reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, or a combination of both. So definitely we're evolving from a simple manufacturer, which what we were originally when we started, when a young engineer at Kohler thought, hey, we could also manufacture engines over 100 years ago.
Got it. Got it. Now, in the earlier part of our conversation, you mentioned that while you wear two hats of Chief Sustainability Officer and Chief Brand Officer, and you would ideally like it to be one hat. Now, what are some of the opportunities you have with this dual responsibility? Because if there is any tension, you're in tension with yourself. You don't have to convince somebody else. You just talk to yourself and say, hey, which hat am I working with? And ideally, I want it to be the same hat. So from your perspective, what are some of the opportunities you have because of these dual responsibilities, and how do you connect these areas probably better and different than companies which have got these two as different areas?
For sure. I think it starts by connecting it to our company purpose. Like I said, it's embedded in our purpose. Our purpose is creating an energy resilient world for a better future. So you've got the energy resilient world, which is more, I would say, operational into our products, and a better future that's about the sustainability and improving the planet. So that's at the high strategic level. Then operationally, we have opportunities to work on common projects, and it's also creating a movement. I think, part of my marketing ad, I also have internal communication. So when someone part of the world does something great on the sustainability space, we're able to amplify and create that movement where people want to do better and yeah, I think creating that movement is really important. And tapping into also, there's a lot of young leaders in the company that are looking to lead on the sustainability space. I think there's a little bit of a generational shift. More and more when we recruit younger engineers, they pick where they want to work and they ask the questions, what's your sustainability stance? What do you want to do? So I think it's important on so many facets.
Fascinating indeed. Looking back between 2016 and 2018, at MasterCard, we underwent a company-wide rebrand. It's a brand transformation effort. And we came up with what we then called, and we still call, as a multi-sensory marketing. So, which we have got, for example, the launch of our Sonic brand. We had our symbol logo and many elements, which really takes us into areas that sound crazy at first, but hugely and profoundly they make a difference. And that's what we felt, and we believe, and it's being sort of borne out that it is future-proofing our country, our company, and it's also future-proofing our brand in a brilliant way. Now, when you have just launched or relaunched your brand, you're at that journey. And one you already mentioned to me in terms of, for example, the symbol on the left side of your logo, the brand it's a stylized version of R, which is more futuristic, etc. And I buy it. What are some of the things that you're doing to future-proof your marketing and your branding beyond this?
Absolutely. I think the use of data, I think we're just getting started. Think about the amount of data we have from those generators that are placed in people's homes and in the different businesses around the world. So we're able to know remotely if they're ready to start off because they need to start. They need to be reliable. If there's a blackout, our products needs to be turned on immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So we're able to remotely make sure we have maintenance and we get data from the different units. And that's on the, I would say, post-sale side. Then the other thing we use more and more that we're getting smarter with is leveraging data from the amount of blackouts and energy consumption. And it's almost having, especially on our residential side where we advertise and we drive demand, we're able to know and that's a fact. When there's a weather event, the demand for our products in the next 3 months increase between 30 and 50%. People are on the lookout and they don't want to go through this a second time. So we're able to geo-target and almost weather target our marketing, our precision marketing plans to talk to consumers at the right time of their journey. Buying a generator, people don't know about it for your home. We have to educate them. It's often a 6-month process. It's not a spontaneous purchase like a CPG product. People need to be educated. They will shop around, compare models. They will often have a dealer come to their home at the kitchen table, give them a proposal. And it's a big investment. It could be similar to buying a car. So we're getting better and we're learning. I'm very humble on it, but trying to be as precise as we can.
So you are primarily a B2B company or a B2C company, or you're a B2B2C company?
We're mostly a B2B on the industrial side, but we are a B2B2C on the residential side where we will drive demand for home generators, but then send the lead, if you want, to one of our thousands of dealers across the country.
Got it. And the reason why I'm asking you this is there is a myth, even amongst the marketing community, and much more so in the non-marketing business community, where they feel that the relevance of branding and the importance of branding is much lesser in a B2B context. The myth being that B2B is all about rational, logical decision making, which we know is anything but, right? So from that
You're
perspective,
talking to the right person here.
So from that perspective, just tell me your thinking and how you have navigated your own company to convince your own colleagues, your CEO, whoever else it is, to say that why so much of focus on branding in a B2B context is so critical.
Oh, that's a great topic. I could talk for an hour. Uh, Absolutely. I think first of all, I think B2B decision makers, first and foremost, they're humans
Well said.
with some insights. In CPG, we were always trying to find the insight. What's the trigger for someone to buy a product? I think the same thing is true for B2B decision makers. In our case, I'll use industrial backup generators. We're talking about specifying engineers who have the choice. We're in the top three brands for industrial solutions globally. I can name my competitors. They will have the choice between Cummins, Caterpillar, or Kohler, now Rehlko. Uh, so I think there's a lot of things we can do to make sure they have a good perception of our company, of the reputation of our company, of our brand. And as you know, it's in every single detail. Whenever we talk to them, whenever they come to one of our facility for a visit, and the more consistent, the better we're off. The more consistent, the more insightful we are, the better we're off.
Got it. And the other aspect I wanted to ask you is regarding talent. One of the things which I always keep telling folks is the one thing which keeps me awake at night is talent. Attracting the right talent, training them or retraining to your context, and making sure that we enable them to succeed and rise up to their potential. These are all not very easy things. So tell me your thoughts on about your marketing talent specifically.
For sure. As you gain in experience, this becomes like probably more one of the most satisfying part of my career. I think seeing people grow and investing, taking bets on people and pushing them and challenging them and getting them to do things they themselves didn't think they could do. That's extremely satisfying. With the stand up of our new company, we had to stand up a completely new corporate marketing function. So it's been great, attracting, selecting the talent, and growing with them. We've been on this adventure for the last 12 months of launching a new brand. We just completed an important chapter. Now the brand is out there, and now we need to continue growing it. And I think it's fascinating. I'm getting experts, and I'm humble enough to hire people who know more about their domain than I do, and that's great. They're actually challenging me and teaching me a lot of things. So I think that's extremely satisfying.
Got it. Now, no conversation these days is complete without talking about AI. Are you already using AI in your marketing operations or strategizing? And if you can give any insights into that, that'll be great.
Absolutely. I'll be very humble. We're beginning. We're dabbing into AI. I've mentioned on our home energy side, we have to process a lot of data. We're trying to see what weather patterns will be and trying to be very reactive. So here, AI, we're confident we're starting to dab into it, but we'll play a key role in our precision marketing efforts. What is done today manually, I think it's all about creating frameworks where AI will be an accelerator. It won't replace anyone. It will just make us more agile and faster. On more simple terms, we're always in a B2B business, we're always looking for great pictures of our products. We're trying to, coming from consumer, this is something I think I'm bringing. We used to have very boring pictures of our products, front facing. I think AI will allow us to simulate, the way our product will look on the side of an hospital, of a data center, in a downtown center like New York City. So I think just in terms of content creation, content generation, we're already playing around with this, and we're going to be redesigning the look of many of our products with our new brand. So I think we have an opportunity to make our products, I don't know if it's the right word, but look a little more sexier than they do today for B2B industrial products.
Got it, got it. And I would say that, I guess all the companies practically are in the beginning stages of the AI journey. And what you have learned and practiced yesterday is already becoming obsolete today. And therefore, I think for some good months, if not a couple of years to come, all of us will say that we are at the beginning, and that's very true. So let me just ask you one question, which is a favorite question of mine for all my episodes of this show. MasterCard is known for its priceless platform for
Yeah.
27 years, and I feel very, honored to have inherited that platform, and we are trying to take it from there to making it more and more compelling and powerful. And today, thanks to Priceless, which differentiates our brand pretty significantly, and a whole bunch of other efforts like the multi-sensory marketing and so on, we are now the 11th most valuable brand in the world, which is not too bad a place to be in. So the question I'm asking you or about to ask you is, what is priceless to you?
Wow. So just in case my wife is watching this, I will start by saying probably the day I met my wife and when our two children were born. Um, but moving on, in the context I am today, talking about marketing and the big announcement we had yesterday, I would say the work in the last year has been really satisfying for many reasons. How
Yeah,
often do you create a new brand from a blank page? And that journey to come where we are today with the team, seeing the team grow and recruiting a team. So I would say the launch of our new Rehlko brand yesterday was a priceless moment from on the professional side.
brilliant. And you're a smart person as well. You realize that a happy wife is happy life. So good for you. So, Francis, thank you so very much. Really appreciate you joining. And again, particularly in the context where you're in the midst of your huge relaunch. And I know how intense it is, and you making time for this show, I really appreciate. And I'm very grateful to you. Thank you. And
Thank
to
you
our
very much.
audience, thank you very much. And it'll be great if you can put in your biggest takeaways in the comments, and also please do tune next time and let me know who you would want me to bring onto this, because at the end of the day, this is all meant for you and as a value to you. And therefore, whatever I do, I want to make sure that this is something which you are finding of use and value. So I would really deeply appreciate any feedback from your side and any suggestions. So thank you very much. And once again, Francis, thank you so very much, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Yes, see you soon in person. Thanks, Raja.
Thank you. Thank you very
Bye.
much.